What's something your dad taught you? Not my dad but stepdad. When I was about 12 he was trying to give me advice on how to do a chore. My response, in a typical childlike fashion, was I know what I'm doing. He responded with, if someone is offering advice it is best to listen and say thank you. Regardless if you already know or not, you will learn more from others than being a know-it-all. Nobody wants to help someone who already knows everything. This has stuck with me all this time. Wow. I wish my dad had explained this to me like this, rather than just saying no one likes a smart butt a million times, and expecting 7-year-old me to understand. Today I learned being able to do anything as being a smart butt. Taught me to always cut away from your body with a knife, and never point a gun at anything you don't intend to kill. Then he ends up doing the opposite thing. To be fair, the gun wasn't loaded, and it was locked. The gun is always loaded, even when you know for a fact it isn't. Something I learned from my dad. When peeing outside, you should never pee into the wind. I'm a girl. Don't wipe with leaves of 3. Leaves of 4 eat some more. When you're putting something together, always check the instructions to make sure you're not missing things before you even start. Keep it organized by putting all screws and bolts in a container, and when you're done, put all the tools away. Instructions? You mean the free fire tender? Directions? Ancient instinct will guide me. Apostrophe. Never throw the first punch. Just the last one. I got the opposite. Throw the first punch. Throw it hard. Then GTFO. The guy who throws the second punch is the guy who gets caught. Also, open hand to the face. As hard as you can. Yeah. My daddy taught me to bitch slap that motherfucker. That's my purse. I don't know you. That in a job interview you are interviewing them as much as they are interviewing you. This is exceptional and very true. My dad taught me a lot of things. The biggest lesson is probably that blood doesn't make a family. He isn't my biological father, but raised me as his own, and brought me into his family. Considering how most of the people on my mom's side turned out, this was probably the best thing he could have ever done for me. That's so sweet. Nice to know someone's father is good. Most are. A life well lived includes 16 coffee cans full of screws, bolts and nails. This is my dad. He always keeps screws and nails in cans, although for him they're the types of cans that you get canned food out of instead of coffee. Once upon a time my dad took the lids to some 20+ Gerber baby food jars and screwed them from the inside of the lid onto a piece of plywood. Then hung the plywood as a shelf next to his workbench in the garage. He filled each jar with whatever sized screws he had laying around, and then could fasten the jars to the lids with a simple twist. Pretty ingenious little storage/sorting system. However, I'm certain to this day that I hardly ever saw my dad actually use the screws. But man did he sure have them sorted and available. How to love. When my paternal grandfather died, leaving my grandmother living alone, my dad went over every single day, at least twice a day, to help her with meds and sit and talk with her. Sometimes he'd bring us kids along, but he never missed a day or complained, even though he also worked full time and had 2 young kids. He's seriously amazing. Your dad sounds like a very dedicated son. Gave the same love to his kids and wife. He did it in the only way he knew, but he taught me, you love your kids, and you do anything for them. 1 piece of bacon left at breakfast. Let the kids eat it. One of the kids screws up and needs money. Give it to them. I miss you, Dad. He died 7 years ago tomorrow. I'm so sorry for you. Hopefully you're doing good. How to fix cars. Forever grateful for that. Me too. As a woman, I've caught several shops trying to take advantage of a random know-nothing woman at the auto shop. I usually put them on blast about their shady practices, and even got offered a job once as a result. Can you give some advice? Maybe. To a fellow female? It would be nice to know if I'm being taken advantage of at the car dealership. How to spot people who are mentally abusive/toxic. Not in a nice way. Just he was the toxic bastard, but I suppose I appreciate the great example he gave on those. There's another post about private investigator findings and I immediately thought about how my mom found some stuff up. So thank you for this post. Not all of us learned good things from our dad. How to identify and avoid a psychopath. Social responsibility, the responsibility of taking care of one's community, how to give and take in criticism, how to use one's sense of intuition properly. Yes, intuition is a powerful thing. Almost every time I went against my intuition about a person's situation, it has turned out to be wrong. Trust your intuition. Always. Yes. For context, my dad was a public official in our town. He had a crazy great sense of intuition. I swear, if you didn't know what he had up his sleeve, you'd think he was a magician. The people called him Merriot, which means enchanted one in our local language. He just had a knack for these things. He knew if you'd done something wrong. He knew if you were lying to him. He knew if you were trying to play him. But then, he was just really clever. I heard that people would literally pee their pants if he called their name. Old man, I miss him every day. He's dead. I have a story the complete opposite of most people in this thread. My father is the absolute gold standard for a human being. This is coming from a 16-year-old Asian kid. By the way, he grew up in poverty. Born right at the end of the Great Leap Forward. Dirt poor Chinese village. His father was barely literate. Mother couldn't read a word. Some years, his family actually had to borrow rice just to put food on the table. Being the only male in his family, he was kind of on his own. But he went university, the second one in his village. After failing the entrance exam not one, but twice, he eventually made his way to Canada, and now makes 6 figures doing international trade. You would think this makes him a tough dad, but it's the other way around. He is the kindest, warmest, most caring person anyone could ask for. In a lot of ways, he's taught me the importance of hard, smart work. He's completely supportive in anything I do, allowing me to explore my interests and figuring things on my own. He's not perfect, but damn close. I want to be half the man my dad is. By admiring your dad and watch him do that every day, you are closer to being the same person as your dad. How to build a PC. Also, there was a photo of me and my dad building a PC together that appeared in a magazine back in the 90s. How to work hard. Actually been the most valuable lesson so far. Any suggestions for me? Whatever you do, good and bad, be responsible and own your work. If you want more, do more. If the people you work for don't recognize or value good work and growth, work for someone else who does. If you're putting a fair bit of effort into making a decent sandcastle, you should fill it with jagged rocks so, if someone comes later to stamp on it, they will get their comeuppance. Apparently he was taught this by his dad too. Edit, spelling. How not to be a parent. Holy shit dude, gang. 1. Never buy a car you can't push. 2. Don't party with the boys if you can't get up with the men. 3. God gave you 2 heads, but only enough blood for one. 4. Don't stick your dick in crazy. Either you're my cousin or my dad has some explaining to do. What if I say you both are alt accounts of same person with dual personality syndrome? How to be selfish and empathetic at the same damn time. My dad's like that, but he had a rough childhood, so it's not like I'm mad at him. OFC, it's annoying sometimes, but he's doing his best to not give us the same bad childhood he had. How to ride a bike. By being irresponsible, he taught me how to fulfill my obligations. By being unfaithful, he taught me how to treat women with respect. By having a bunch of kids with different women and never taking care of them, he taught me that I wasn't ready to have a kid without desiring one. He taught me to be a decent human being by acting totally different from how he behaved. My father taught me what not to do or how not to behave in life. Evidently his purpose in life was to be a bad example. My dad is a gentle, kind man. He's brilliantly smart, can still beat me at chess, but was content to be a high school gym teacher and football and girls softball coach, which he was radically successful at. He's in the Michigan High School Athletics Hall of Fame. For a while I couldn't understand why someone who could help me with my calculus and physics homework was happy in what I considered to be a simple, unchallenging life. But you know what? My dad is the single ducking happiest person I know. He may not have a lot of money, but he and my mom still love each other. They raised 2 great kids, and me, closed bracket comma. They gave us every opportunity in life to succeed. Opportunities that they could never dream of when they were growing up. They lived the credo of giving your kids a better life than you had. Us kids are all professionals. But I doubt any of us is as happy as my dad. He did exactly what he wanted. He achieved everything he considered to be important. And it finally dawned on my dumb butt that he understands the purpose of life a hell of a lot better than I do. I'm interviewing for a job this week. That will be a pay cut, but which I know I'll be happier with. Thanks, Dad. To love nature and the outdoors. Live your life in such a way that your funeral is standing room only. That I should shut the door because I wasn't born in a barn and he's not heating/cooling the whole neighborhood. Thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe for more videos.